What's good, Washington fans? Happy Friday. So more Washington football quarterback rumors and scuttlebutt. But this probably isn't a rumor. This probably is true because Adam Schefter is a very, very reliable source. He said that the Washington football team has been one of the teams to reach out and call the Jets in interest for Sam Darnold. The other teams were the Niners and the Colts, and I think there was a fourth team. I can't remember. I think it was the Panthers, actually. So four teams have reached out and called the Jets regarding for a trade for Sam Darnold. Now, I talked about this last week, what I would give up for Sam, and the pros and cons for Sam Darnold. Now, he's 23. He's about to turn 24. He has talent. He was the third overall pick in the draft. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, it does, and it doesn't. I mean, we've seen busts be the first pick of the draft. We've seen busts be the third pick of the draft. So we've seen it all. Now, the young man, he does have talent. Hasn't been able to put it all together. I know everybody makes every excuse in the world for this young man. Adam Gase is a terrible coach. We all know that. Offensive line was not great. Didn't have a lot of receivers. I know it was Jamison Crowder, Denzel Mims, and then Brashad Perriman was the other wide receiver. And then the year before, we actually had his best season. His second year, he threw 19 touchdowns, 13 picks, which is still not great. But he had Robbie Anderson. He had Demaryius Thomas, then Jamison Crowder. So the receiving corps was a lot better, and they had a decent tight end. I remember the Cowboys game where he lit them up, he lit us up, he lit the Giants up. So he had a couple of games, and they won 7 games with him as the starter. Now when he went out with mono, that's kind of when things went downhill for the Jets. When he came back in, they actually looked pretty decent. They looked like a decent team. I think they won like the last 5 out of their last 7 games or something like that, and he had like a really high passer rate. Now bad Sam Darnold this year. 9 touchdowns, 11 picks. And then his rookie year, he had a good game against the Packers. He had a pretty good game where he had a battle with Aaron Rodgers. And then he had a good game against the Texans in his rookie year as well. So he's shown flashes. Now, he can make off-script throws, funny body throws, thrown across his body. And he's actually a little bit more mobile than what you think. He ran for a 46-yard run. Now, the cons is that he does make bad decisions. He does throw interceptions. He does turn the ball over. Doesn't read through his progressions a lot. Overthrows guys. Can be inaccurate. Does fumble. Does crumble under pressure. Has seen ghosts in the past. Remember that clip that he said, "I'm seeing ghosts out there." It's. I don't want a guy that sees ghosts, in my opinion. Somebody saying that on the sideline because Taylor Heinicke ain't out there seeing ghosts. Now we haven't seen enough from Taylor Heinicke yet, but if you really have a training camp battle with Taylor Heinicke versus Sam Darnold, a guy who knows Scott Turner's offense. Same thing with Kyle Allen. I don't know if Sam Darnold is 100% going to beat those guys out because they know the offense and they're mobile. They just know what to do out there. And Sam Darnold, hasn't really shown. He's shown some talent, but hasn't really put 3 or 4 good games in a row or 5 good games in a row to show that he can be a top 10, top 15 quarterback. The talent is there, but he just hasn't put it together. Now, I'm going to read some nasty stats from him. He had below 59. His completion percentage was 59%, 57% his rookie year, and 61% in the second year. So that's pretty darn bad. It's pretty underwhelming. So Darnold, since he entered the league in 2018, there have been 29 quarterbacks to start at least half of the games in the NFL. Among those quarterbacks, Darnold ranks last in completion percentage, 22nd in passing yards, 25th in passing touchdowns, and has the 5th most interceptions. So there's a lot of cons with this guy. Now, with his contract, he's going to make $9 million this year, but of course we have to make a decision on the 5th-year option. We have to make that decision by May 3rd. If we do trade for him, the Jets have to make the decision that they're probably going to decline the 5th-year option because they have better options with the second pick of the draft. They could get Zach Wilson, they could get Justin Fields, other guys like that, other young guys. Now, if we do pick up his 5th-year option, that is going to be $25 million guaranteed in 2022. If we do pick up that 5th-year option, he will be getting $25 million guaranteed. And that's pretty good money. That's definitely franchise, that's basically franchise quarterback money because Alex Smith's getting, $24 million this upcoming year if we do keep him. So that's a pretty big investment. He has to be the guy. He has to show us something. So if it were me, I would not trade for Sam Darnold. Now, if they're willing to take a 4th or a 3rd or something like that, a 3rd and a 4th, possibly I would make the move, possibly. But if they're asking for like a 2nd or a 1st round pick, I'm hanging up the phone. I just can't do it for a guy who's unknown, unproven, has been up and down, very inconsistent. I get that the talent around him hasn't been perfect. And there's also another stat with him in clean. His play from a clean pocket is the lowest. Sam Darnold had the lowest clean pocket quarterback rating among full-time starters in 2020, 81.7 passer rating. So from a clean pocket. So that's pretty underwhelming as well. So he must have been seeing ghosts this year. But like I said, it's been a tough situation for the young man. Adam Gase has set this man up to fail. You know, remember the video where Adam Gase's eyes was looking all over the room when he got hired. I mean, I don't know what in the world was going on with Adam Gase as a coach. And like I said, Ryan Tannehill, like we said before, Ryan Tannehill left Adam Gase and played better. Now, Ryan Tannehill had a better career before leaving than what Sam Darnold has had so far. But, you know, like I said, if we have a perfect situation, if we add more talent, you know, get another receiver to help out Terry McLaurin, like a Curtis Samuel, draft Rashad Bateman, or even get or somehow, some way get Kenny Galladay or Allen Robinson, and then get maybe another tight end. And we already have Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissic. I keep saying that. Then it would be a lot better, and we have our stout, tough defense that would be a lot better for Sam Darnold. So in my opinion, I wouldn't give up anything. I'd probably give up a third-round pick at the most, a third-round pick in my opinion. I know it probably wouldn't get him. I know the Jets want a first. I got to look up the Josh Rosen trade, honestly, to see what did they get back in return for Josh Rosen, because they're kind of similar, but you know, Josh Rosen was very, very unproven. A second-round pick, so a second and a fifth for Josh Rosen. In my opinion, I would give up like a third and maybe next year's fifth. In my opinion, we got 2 third-round picks, so that's probably the most I would do is a third-round pick and then next year's 5th rounder. In my opinion, you guys let me know what you guys think. What would you give up for Sam Darnold, or would you say no? It's a no for you for Sam Darnold. All right, you guys have a great weekend. Hail to the football team. Peace.